Well, good afternoon and welcome to Annandale Distillery. It's Saturday the 13th of June 2020 and we're in the historic bonded warehouse at Annandale Distillery. And what we're going to do is one of the things that really delights me as a distillery owner. By the way, my name is David Thomson, I'm the co-owner of Annandale Distillery. And one of the great privileges I have in that regard is being able to go around our maturing whisky stock and taste it, to see how it's coming on as a quality control check, of course, but also to identify those casks that we might select for bottling under the Founder Selection brand name. Now, with me today is my colleague James Rogerson, and James is our cask and whisky specialist, and he has the benefit of youth and therefore a keen nose and a keen palate. And behind the camera today is our general manager, David Ashton-Hyde. So we are unfortunately all having to social distance because of the coronavirus problem that we've got at the moment. But what we're going to do now is we're going to sample from a very important cask for Annandale Distillery. It's known as an STR, which stands for Shaved, Twisted and Recharred. The red wine casks that have been rejuvenated. Now why this really matters to Annandale Distillery is it was the brainchild of the late great Dr. Jim Swan, who was not only a friend of mine, I'd known him for 30 odd years before he died in 2017, but he was principal in designing the distillery plant at Annandale. And one of the very last things he said to me, in fact it almost was the last thing he said to me, perhaps a week before he died, was please contact Miguel Martin in Spain and get him to deliver you some STRs. So that's what we did. So of course, before they even arrived, Jim had gone, which is really sad. But we kind of filled them in his honour. So every time we look at these casks, we can't help but think of Jim. So I'm going to ask James now to pull the bung in this and tell us what's going on. One of the things about these STR casks is they're, as I mentioned before, rejuvenated red wine casks. So what happens basically is you take a red wine cask, they knock the hoops off it, they shave the inside off to reveal, if you like, some fresh oak. They roast them in the oven, in an oven to break down some of the particularly lignin in the wood, and then they recooper them and then they burn the inside as they would do with a normal whisky cask, and that's the recharring bit. So shaved, twisted and recharred. And what makes these ones very interesting is they tend to give a very profound fruity character. And you may know, but Jim Swan was really one of the leading lights, and the guiding lights I should say, in the Cavallan distillery, and they used a lot of STRs, certainly at the beginning, and won a lot of accolades with them. So we're very keen to see what this one's like. It was filled in 2017, so it's just over 3 years old now, and we are in fact going to bottle some STRs very shortly and sell them under the Founder Selection brand, but this is a separate one and we're going to have a taste of it now and just see what it's like. So I'm going to pass you over to James, who's going to do the needful. He's going to unbutton.
The honours of this one.
Yeah. Removing bungs is an art, is a skill in itself. So what James is doing now is that's a phalange, it's like a giant pipette he's sticking out, it's made of copper. He's stirring it round and round, it's not as rousing really, and you have to do that with whisky because of course whisky contains a large amount of alcohol, and when it's left it layers, so you get the alcohol which is less dense than water on the top, and the, if you like, the white aqueous phase underneath. So we'll mix it up to make sure it's more like the whisky that we would want to drink. And James is going to take a sample now. It's damned awkward doing this, socially distanced, but never mind. We'll do our best. Okay, James, we'll just put it in there and I'll pick it up for you. Thank you very much, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Alright, James, over to you.
So yeah, so this is just over 3 years old. I mean the colour in this already is fantastic, absolutely beautiful what we've got there. You get that real fruitiness coming through. It's that fruit gum sort of note that you get coming in there. It's
quite cold at the minute. It's
that's
June,
true.
but it's still not warm in here.
That's true. Just needs a little bit. Just bring it up a little bit in temperature there.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, there's that fruitiness, but also just a little, again, that little bit hint of spiciness coming through there as well. A little bit of vanilla, caramel, and pear drops. That's what really stands out to me in there as well.
Yeah. And the pear drops and these sort of fruity characteristics come from fruity esters that are developed during the fermentation phase. I don't quite know why STRs would enhance them, or whether the fruity characteristics are residual wine characteristics from the cask, who knows. But it's very balanced.
Is there just a slight hint of fresh mint at the back of that as well?
Goodness, getting very descriptive there. I'm just going to put a wee splash of water in mine. I'll leave that bottle there for you, James. Okay, you just pick it up. Okay, that's fine.
See what difference this makes.
That's nice.
Certainly is.
I've put slightly too much water in mine, unfortunately, but it's very nice whisky, that.